Hello everyone and welcome to the weekly show, the Halloween edition. As you can see, I've been drinking way too much Lucasade, so I've now got red marks on the side of my face.
That has nothing to do with it.
Or maybe I'm just cosplaying an MCR fan, I don't know. Either way, MCR!
Gotta get spooky. I like it. I think it could be a new look for you, Dan.
Right, okay. So we got it's a shorter show this week, guys, just because there's a lot going on here. For those that watch, we're trying to try and get as much out as we can, and we're going to be offline for a while because I will be unfortunately losing my PC for a while. So we're going to try and get as much content as we can out. Today's episode, we've got some shorts we need to pull out the other one. We just haven't had time this week, but we wanted to make sure at least we had a weekly show up for you so you get something to watch.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with some Halloween facts. Cog, go on, hit 'em with it.
Hit him with the facts.
Yeah.
I think some of these are kind of cool facts. Some of these might just interest people. If you are into your Halloween time, which is coming very closely, I mean, it's
Halloween
just
time.
It's around the corner. I think you might find this interesting, guys. So, I thought one of the things I love doing around Halloween time, I know Dan does as well, is pumpkin carving. And I was just interested in if there was anything to do with that. And there's a guy called Stephen Clark who's got the Guinness World Record in 2013, has yet to be beaten, supposedly, to make a masterpiece pumpkin. So this has to include, to qualify, you must have a nose, eyes, mouth, and ears. I don't know why ears, because I never put ears on my pumpkin. I don't know about you. But he had done it.
I don't know. Like, every pumpkin I try and carve looks like a 4-year-old's done it, so...
They're pretty impressive. Don't underestimate yourself.
Okay.
I think they're good. Well, anyway, he managed to do this in under 17 seconds. 17 seconds to carve an entire pumpkin. Big old thing. Not these tiny ones, not an orange, not a tangerine, an actual pumpkin. He managed to carve in under 17 seconds. I don't think I could be able to achieve that. I don't know if any of you guys think you could. If you can, you'll get the Guinness World Record people
Maybe
behind
you
you.
use a lightsaber.
Maybe they used a lightsaber. I haven't seen the video of this to be true, but this is definitely the Guinness World Record. So if you want to carve a pumpkin under 17 seconds, be my guest, have a go.
Nice.
Something else that I think is kind of around the Halloween time, we like our sweet treats, we like our candy, our chocolate. I thought it'd be interesting to find around Halloween time, what would people prefer? If you went and trick-or-treated with kiddies, what would they want at their doorstep? In the UK, if you're talking with sweets, supposedly the number one sweet of all time, with 65% of the entire country voting for Jelly Babies.
Oh, okay.
So Jelly Babies supposedly are the sweet of choice. If it's chocolate, though, it's got to be Dairy Milk. So Dairy Milk came on top for chocolate bar, but for candy, it was Jelly Babies. It was invented 160 years ago, which I thought was insane. In 1864 is when Jelly Babies were created. So I reckon
they did it drunk. Accidentally stumbled on a recipe like, oh, I'm drinking lots of gin. Oh, look, I just made Jelly Babies.
It would make sense because they're very addictive.
Pull it for me. Pull it.
They make everybody very happy. But if you do have a favourite Jelly Baby and you're from the UK, what is your favourite flavoured Jelly Baby? Because I think that always is a topic of debate. Is it the lime one? Is it the blackcurrant one? Let us know. But if you're talking of the States, because we've got our friends in America, of course, I thought it'd be interesting to find that one out as well. So the overall candy, as you like to say, guys, is, of course, Reese's Pieces. But it has been beaten this year by M&M's. M&M's has took the top spot.
They've got better rapping skills, that's what it is.
Reese's has had the top spot now for over a decade, and M&M's has just now come on top. So that's a pretty good go for Reese's Pieces.
That is pretty cool.
So if you want to have the best candy around Halloween time, Reese's Pieces, Jelly Babies, and Dairy Milk. So do with that information as you wish, guys. So I thought it'd be fun.
Nice, thank you very much. Moving on to the movie section in a second. Remember, folks, if you are watching any other platforms, we do reply to chat on YouTubeTube, because that will be where the home of the weekly show is from now on. We are just live everywhere else for ancillary, just while we're building up an audience. But if you do want to support us, please join us on YouTube. It's on Channel Optimus Dan, just as it is everywhere else. So come join in the conversation. Get in with the stuff that's going on, man.
The nerdy goodness.
The nerdy goodness. I'm covered in bruises. I'm not going to tell you why. Cog's been beating me up. But I'm covered in bruises. No, I'm covered in bruises. We had flooding here yesterday, and we've lost our kitchen and living room. We're a little bit
battered and bruised.
I don't know if you can see all the but yeah.
I've got a little plaster on my thumb as well.
Yeah. It probably doesn't look as dramatic as it feels right now,
No.
but yeah, it's pretty dramatic. But yeah, we're in the wars.
We've gone through the mill a little bit.
We're in the wars, right? So we're going to move on to the movie section. There's been a lot of stuff coming from the 20th Century Studio
All right.
camp, which is now owned by Disney.
There's no.
Yeah. So they've somebody sat down and talked with Steve Asbell, who's the guy that runs the 20th Century Fox Studios. There's been a lot of news that has come out. I think most, probably the biggest news, especially because it's Halloween, might as well talk about some horror stuff, is that Alien Romulus is getting a sequel. I don't know if it needs a sequel. I wasn't really impressed by it, the first one. Let's be honest. The entire Alien franchise, I think, has been diluted so much that it's a ghost of what it formerly was. I think kind of the 1 and 2 will always be the superior films, and then 3 was just watchable. It wasn't great, and then after that, it kind of it's been a steady decline. People can disagree with me, of course, and if you don't, comment below or comment while we're live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do.
We like a chat. So, yeah, not too sure. The other news as well about Alien is that they are working on a sequel for Alien versus Predator.
Who is best?
Who is better? Again, another part of the franchise that I don't really feel like needs another sequel, because the rest of them didn't really do that well. But they're bringing out another one.
I think it's such a beloved franchise. I love the first 2 Alien movies, like a lot of people. I think you might be included in that.
I kind of see Alien vs. Predator as a separate entity, though, because they don't really have anything to do other than the fact the aliens are in it. It doesn't really seem to have any... Yeah, the Xenomorphs don't really have much of a... I don't know. Again, if you are of a different mind or of a different opinion, just message below. Let us know.
I think they're entertaining. I'll give them a watch, but in comparison to where they originated from, they're definitely nothing in comparison.
If they went by the comic books or the books, the films would be far superior. They always seem to choose a very weak story. And if they chose a stronger story with a better script, maybe, yeah, it would just make more sense. Or maybe do... a trilogy of one story, so it carries on through, so it's like a narrative. Comments below, though. Let us know. If you are a fan of the Planet of the Apes franchise as well, they're now making another Planet of the Apes movie. I don't know what this is. What, 6? 7? What's it on now?
I think it's 5.
Planet of the Apes Go Wild.
You got Rise. I'm now trying to think of them on the top of my head. But I think there's about 4 or 5 now. But Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, I'm actually kind of excited for. I do love Andy Serkis. I love the mocap that they use for these movies. I think that it's very advanced.
Yeah,
I do.
true.
I do like that element to it. Some of the other movies have fallen flatter than the others, which is guaranteed with so many that they've come out with. But the acting and the everything to do with that side of Planet of the Apes is very clever. So in that regard, I think it might...
Welcome in, Joe. Yes, it is, mate. That's the very first Alien vs. Predator movie. That's the one in the Arctic, which wasn't bad. They did kind of nerf the alien queen, though, because she would have kicked the shit out of a predator, I think. But then again, I like both species. I love the xenomorphs and I love the predators.
It's tough.
It's tough to call it. I reckon a seasoned predator or an older predator could probably take down an alien queen by herself. But in the comic books, there's always 3 or 4 or even a team of predators that attack.
I would not want...
Because they're like the size of a building, so...
They're the size of a building?
Yeah, because when if they're left to grow, the queens, they get humongous.
They're huge.
Huge.
Right.
They're huge.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I did not know
You can
that.
also get the male behemoth predators. Not predators. Xenomorphs that are even bigger than the queens, and they are seen as unstoppable. Like you need like an entire army to take one of those down.
So it's safe to say you wouldn't want to be caught in a set two with one of those,
No.
or at least a group.
You
of
just
them.
want to run in the other direction, or at least get off the planet.
Get off the planet.
Just run.
Keep on running. But yeah, Planet of the Apes, coming back to that just real quickly. I'm excited. I do like the movies. I know they're not for everybody. I know that there is a mixed, because obviously I am a fan of the original Planet of the Apes and all like the Tim Burton version of Planet of the Apes, as well as obviously the new mocapped version of Planet of the Apes. So it's interesting. I like the original story.
You damn dirty ape.
So I'm excited. But at the
Dr.
same time,
Dr. Zeus. Sorry, I got Simpsons Eric Conan.
we don't need another one.
Dr. Zeus. Dr. Zeus.
Dr. Zeus.
So there's obviously a lot coming out of the 20th century camp. One of the things that I'm a little bit pissed about, because we've kind of been looking forward to number 3, because I don't really class the last Kingsman movie as part, because it's set in the past. We want another Eggsy movie. Is that they've got no plans to bring another sequel of Kingsman back
I'll be shame.
for the foreseeable future. So that could be a no to all of it. I'm not really sure. Again, it is 20th Century Fox, or anything Fox. They are notorious for getting rid of good stuff and replacing it with bad stuff.
Boo.
Yeah. More Agatha Christie movies, because we want those, don't we?
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie. Yep. So we got more. So we have Then and Then There Were None.
Okay.
A Witness for Prosecution. They're doing a Miss Marple movie, because we've asked for that. 100% asked for that. And a Hercule Poirot. So there's another 3 of those coming as well.
I do like a bit of Hercule Poirot.
Yes.
I think he's amazing. I like the series. I thought it was actually pretty okay.
Yeah.
The Agatha Christie books are actually decent. I've
They
read
are
a
good.
few.
Yeah. They're brilliant. I loved watching the show growing up. I thought it was very good. I've liked every iteration of Poirot over the years, going from the very late 80s up to now. They're very good murder mysteries.
I
Very
think
good murder
there's
mysteries.
some of the best murder mystery out there. I'm going to put that there.
But Miss Marple, I don't think anybody's asking for Miss Marple. I'm not.
That's
I don't
a
think
niche,
Cock is.
a niche
Yeah, a
audience.
bit of a niche fandom. Not sure what they're doing with that. Free Guy 2, which was supposed to start filming in 2027. The consensus is that Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds are too busy. They've not even wrote a script yet. I don't know if we'll see a Free Guy 2. The first one was very successful, bearing in mind it came out during COVID.
Yes.
So there was nobody in the cinemas. It was all watched through.
We needed it. We needed
Yeah.
a movie.
Yeah, so there was a lot of problems with it being released. There was an argument between the studio because Disney had bought out Fox, so that kind of ground everything to a halt. It had a lot of problems, but when it was finally released, it ended up making a decent bit of money. But there's no plans for Free Guy 2, which is a shame because the first one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Master and Commander prequel. Again, who's asking for a Master and Commander prequel? I thought the film was okay. It was okay. It was worth the watch. You know, it's nothing. It's not like it's poor, but that was 20 years ago. Why do we all of a sudden need another Master and Commander film?
You tell me.
I mean, it's got the guy in it I suppose look like the bloody horrible Australian. Russell Crowe.
I wanted the chat to guess that one.
Russell Crowe. So he's I don't know if he's coming back for it or they've been in talks of it, but they really want to make a Master and Commander 2. So that's at the top of their list. So if they bring back Russell Crowe, maybe it'd be a prequel. Who knows? But it's in the works.
It's okay, Dan.
And on the message of Die Hard, they're not looking to bring it back. I think it's just because they can't replace Bruce Willis. I can't imagine a Die Hard film without Bruce Willis. They'd have to find like a perfect casting to replace Bruce. But
Or someone with his...
and I'm not a fan of the guy. I think he's a twat. I think he's I mean, I feel for him with his current condition, but I don't like the guy. Professionally, I think he's an arsehole. But he's very good at playing John McClane because he is John McClane. So without John McClane and without Bruce Willis, I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe come away from the John McClane character and do another character for a Die Hard movie. just like a street cop that it all ends up going awry like it does in the Die Hard movies. I don't know.
Be interesting to see. I think if he gave his stamp of approval, maybe for the next person to play that role, maybe that would be a little bit more redeemable. But it is going to be very hard to see someone else fill the role.
Supposedly, on the Glass Onion stuff, we haven't got any actual confirmed news yet, but there is going to be an announcement about that in January. So we might be looking at a trilogy.
Ooh.
The Daniel Craig Glass Onion stuff.
I like it.
So that could be happening. And Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I will fight to my last breath.
Comment below, it's Die Hard.
Die Hard is a goddamn Christmas movie.
There's a Christmas tree in it. Christmas is mentioned. What more can you ask in a Christmas movie? Some people even argue the point that Harry Potter's a Christmas movie. There's a lot of debate. There's a lot of debate to be had.
Which is quite sad as well. John Loudale, who I met not many years ago, but it was about 7 or 8 years ago now. I met him a couple of times. Once was at the Alita Battle Angel premiere, and the other time was at New York Comic Con. He's actually a very nice dude.
Well, that's good.
Very, very good film knowledge. I'd say very top tier film knowledge as well. Knows his stuff. Unfortunately, he's attached to the Avatar movies, but he sadly passed away this summer.
Oh, no.
And he's one of the main producers for Avatar. So there are the Avatar 3 release window they're not really sure about. They don't know if it's gonna be in the same position, etc. And if they're going to make more after 3. So you're going to have to wait and see. But he was the main producer on it, so that was... and I think that's all the 20th Century Fox news. Oh, well, wait, hold on. Hold on, there's one more bit. There's one more tidbit. They're talking about doing a Speed 3.
Speed 3?
Yeah.
That's a very...
Now, I love Speed. Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock. Brilliant film.
Top tier.
Pub quiz, hot shot, all that stuff. Amazing. Really like it. 2 was fucking awful. Cruise Control. It was terrible.
Happened.
No.
Never happened.
It was god awful. It had Sandra Bullock in it still, but the guy they had, yeah. Nah. But they said it's one of those movies that we haven't remade and really like a reason to come back. It's got a great idea and one that excites Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. So Keanu Reeves is coming back for 3, so maybe that could make it more interesting.
If Sandra Bullock and Keanu are together again, that might be kind of cool.
So that'd be kind of cool. But also in the fact, since Keanu Reeves did the first Speed, he's learned martial arts, gun control. You know, he's now like an absolute machine. So in that respect, that could make it very cool because it could literally be John Wick in Speed 3. Maybe it could be a crossover.
So the John Wick and Speed combination.
The ship runs over his dog. And that's it. It's game over. Then it's John Wick versus a cruise ship.
Don't mess with his dog, Dan. Don't mess with him. He will find you.
That would be some funny shit. We'll have to wait and see. But it's in the works. They've got a script. It's excited Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves, so maybe we'll get them in Speed 3. Maybe they're married and then the kid ends up... Yeah, the dog. I know. Wait.
Makes complete sense.
They'll have a kid. They'll have a kid that identifies as a cat or something. Because it's modern Hollywood, so probably he identifies as a dog or a cat. Then the son gets killed, and because he identifies as a dog,
it's the origin story of
John Wick. Yeah,
it's the origin story of the dog. Where did the dog come from?
100%, and it's just gonna go. It's just gonna go skits. So what to take from this so far? No Kingsman sequels, which is a shame. Agatha Christie stuff. Don't know who's asking for that, but it's coming on. No Free Guy 2, which is a shame. No Die Hard stuff again, which is a shame. Alien Romulus is definitely getting a sequel because it's currently being made, and they are in the works of making a Alien versus Predator.
Who is
4? I think it's on 4 now. Could be 3. No, it's 4. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what Alien versus Predator on. It's either 3 or 4. I'm not. I've kind of lost count. There's so many Alien movies and Predator movies and
too many.
It's being made. It's being made. So that's kind of cool. We were talking about last week as well about The Running Man, which is one of my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about this movie. I'm a little bit apprehensive. For some reason, they've decided Michael Cera should be in it. Now, Michael Cera is famous for playing one part his entire career. So maybe for some reason they decided they needed like a really geeky,
Soft-spoken.
soft-spoken jabbermouth in The Running Man 2. So maybe instead of him... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're going.
Maybe
with
they
this.
just like working with him because it is directed by Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
They might have a friendship from previous works or previous.
Oh no, they've worked
projects.
together before, so they're reuniting for it. Yeah.
He is older now. Like we got to remember that he's not that teenager we once saw him as in Scott Pilgrim and in movies. He's now an older gentleman. I think he's in his 30s, maybe his 40s now. He might surprise us. He might have a bit more depth to his roles.
Clairvoyant, thank you very much for that follow on beam. Welcome in.
Thank you.
Emilia Jones as well is also joining the cast. I'd seen her before, but I don't know what else she's been in. Let's have a look.
She looks familiar.
She does look familiar. Both actors of Dirk Cludger, but Paramount's adaptation of Stephen King's story being directed by Edgar Wright for Sarah moving. So right, okay. His beloved roles, because obviously with Edgar Wright, it was Scott Pilgrim, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, you just said that.
I did.
So The Running Man again which was published in 1982, which was a book and then became a movie. The movie's then starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Have you read the book?
Yes.
And is the book decent?
Yes, but it's nothing like the film.
Oh, okay. So plot twist.
Yeah, the
Book is
film
not like
the film is definitely an adaptation, but definitely not a spot on representation of the book.
Makes sense.
But that's Hollywood for you. But the movie's very good. If you've never seen Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man, you need to go watch that shit.
You know what you need to do.
It's fantastic. It's some of his best one-liners are in that one film, and it's just not because he kind of grabs nods from his other films, then puts them in like "I'll be back," "Stick around," all that kind of stuff.
I would say out of all of his movies, that's probably the most underrated. I don't see many people speaking about it, and they should because it seems a good movie.
But that's something to look forward to.
I will just quickly touch upon because
Go on.
you know how I love Lee Pace.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin and Lee Pace are going to be part as well. So if you like Josh Brolin or Lee Pace, I'm excited to have those names up there. So I don't know
They're
what.
also going to be in The Running Man.
Yeah, supposedly.
They're also going to be in The Running Man.
So I'm excited.
So hold on, but is it Lee Pace or his left testicle?
It's probably his left testicle.
Lee Pace. It's
I'd
getting
settle
around.
for that.
It's
I'd
getting
settle
around.
for it.
You'd settle for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's Lee Pace, I'm fine.
As long as it's Lee Pace's left testicle. Something interesting, because we are in obviously the horror season. Hugh Grant's horror movie A24's Heretic.
Oh.
The cinemas or theatres are doing something very cool. There's during one scene, I've not seen the film, so I'm not quite sure why. But there's a pivotal scene in the film where they're going to pump the smell of blueberry pie through the cinema, which sounds kind of cool.
So a sensory cinema experience.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Well, they do it on the rides in Universal and Disney. They kind of like give you the
Scent of something.
yeah. There's a ride where you can feel the alien's breath on the back of your neck and the smell and everything. Pretty much what they did with Alien
Two?
Isolation,
Oh.
the game when you had the sensory helmet on, you could feel the alien's breath and you could hear it. Yeah, I did not like that.
That's a bit scary.
Did not like that.
On
That's why I
theme,
can't
though.
play the game anymore. I got PTSD.
On theme, though. So what is the Heretic? Has there been anything beforehand to lead up to this?
So
or is
Heretic
this-
follows two young missionaries, Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East, who knock on the wrong door and meet the diabolical Mr. Reed, who's played by Hugh Grant.
Ooh.
They tell Mr. Reed they aren't allowed to enter his house without another woman present, and Mr. Reed assures that his wife is baking blueberry pie in the kitchen. As the missionaries discuss the importance of religion with Mr. Reed, he goes in the kitchen to check on the pie. Once he's in the other room, the young woman spots a blueberry pie scented candle on the table, leading to the horrifying realization there is no pie and there is no wife, and there's faith is soon to be tested as they fight to escape his death trap.
It's interesting. I mean, I am curious. So the tickets to go multi-century screenings, it only seems like it's at the Almona Draft House available for purchase. So it might be just at one cinema at the moment. Would this be like a global thing when they release? Will there
AMC will get on it. AMC will get it. What they'll do is they'll bring out a popcorn bucket that smells of blueberry pie.
Oh, that'd be genius. See, you need to be on there.
So as
Merchandising.
soon as you it like triggers a little battery or something inside the popcorn bucket,
Listen,
and then it then
guys,
releases
the
the blueberry
scent.
smell. Yeah.
So it's a blueberry candle, not a blueberry pie. That's really interesting. I don't know how that scene's gonna. That makes me feel eerie with the scene already. But all other advanced screenings will be exclusive treats, and the scratch and sniff cards will be immerse viewers in the film. Oh, okay, there you go. So if you are at another screening, instead of it being like trickling out somewhere, you've got a little scratch and sniff card that you have to like sniff and watch. Hashtag sniff and watch. It's
so
different.
I just spat water everywhere because I'm retarded.
But scratch and sniff cards while at the cinema? Do you
Yeah,
think that could
there's
be...
something different, isn't it? And if the film's crap, at least you've got something to kind of take away the monotony of the movie by the scratch and sniff card. Maybe you can win 50 quid off it because it's also, I don't know. But I thought that was cool. It's something that's not been in the cinema for a while, so yeah. Moving on to the next bit of news here. Just looking at my notes because I can't remember what I was talking about.
Tom Holland?
All right, so Tom Holland is joining Matt Damon in a secret Christopher Nolan project.
Oh, okay.
It's a secret feature that opens. Well, it's going to be Universal that opens in 2026. So we've got a couple of years to wait yet. But Nolan wrote the script and is directing the project, which Universal Pictures will distribute. The studio is set to release the date of July 17th, 2020. So it's quite a while.
All right.
Plot details are being kept under wraps, but the sources say the setting is not present day, although it's unclear whether it's set in the past or the future. You know, it'd be cool if it was set in the future. Because Nolan does a lot of films in the past. It'd be nice if we did one in the future. Future.
We don't have movies that we can go back to, like, for an example, Back to the Future. So when it's actually that year, we can celebrate it. Like when it was October 2012 or 2010, I remember.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, we celebrate that day. So if they can do a future movie, say for a date that's far ahead, so that when it comes to it, we can go, oh, we can reference that movie again. We haven't had that in a very long while. I used to enjoy that.
The new feature reunites Nolan with the studio, makes his drama Oppenheimer, and propelled him into to his first Oscars. He won Best Director and got Best Picture statue as the producer of the film, which earned him a staggering $976 million worldwide. That's a lot of bucks. Oppenheimer was the first filmmaker worked with Universal, relationship forged after Nolan publicly split with longtime home Warner Brothers because they're pissing everybody off. In late 2020, while Oppenheimer was picked up by Universal in an open auction setting, the new project ended up going straight to studio, according to sources. While Matt Damon is a part of the Nolan ensemble of players, having worked with the filmmaker for Oppenheimer and 2014's Interstellar, this will be Holland's first time with the lauded director.
Oh.
Holland's body may come in a ripple effect. Sources say the actor will spend the next year juggling the project as well as Spider-Man 4. Would likely stop for Avengers Doomsday. Spider-Man 4 was delayed enough that Holland's co-star Zendaya will now be shooting June 3 in 2026 rather than next year. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. A lot of stuff going on. And we don't know if any of it's true because every time we get some news in, ends up being fake news.
Fake news.
Bit of cool stuff for you older folks and you ancients like me. Something really cool. So today, as we are recording, is the 40th anniversary of The Terminator, because we were talking about Arnie a little while ago.
Oh!
Pretty awesome. They are bringing out a limited edition Blu-ray set with booklets and cool art and photographs from the set, etc., etc.
If you can get hold of that.
Yeah, they are doing a limited run, so I don't know how many that is. They haven't said, but it does follow. You get obviously commentary as well from all of the actors and the director, which is kind of cool, John Carpenter. We just got to wait, see how many they release for it. But it's supposed to be very coveted because of the shape of the box. It's going to be in the shape of the Terminator skull.
Oh wow, that sounds pretty.
And it lights up. Its eyes go red.
That's extra. That is very extra. I love the Terminator franchise. I love the movies. I cannot believe it's already 40 years celebration. That seems like that's flown by.
That'd be very cool in anybody's display box, though.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
That'd be very, very cool in anybody's display box.
If you guys do purchase or get your hands on one of them, we want to see. On social media, show us.
Yeah.
If you get one, because we'd
100%. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Flesh.
There's no pictures yet. That's because obviously it's not been. I don't know if it's on general release. Oh, it's going to be in the next couple of weeks.
So keep your eyes peeled.
A registered retail price of $79.96. $79.96. Because it is the season to be scared and stuffs. We're going to do a something we've never done before. Something we've never done before. So hold on to your butts.
Holding on to my butt.
We're going to do a horror movie top 10. Let me do that. One more time. The horror movie top 10. So it's worth doing those alerts. Yeah. These are a mixture of Cog and myself's top 10. So you probably work out which is mine, which is Cog's.
If you do, you've got to mention it somewhere, because I'd be curious to see if they actually get them all right.
If you don't agree with us, remember, comment down below. At number 10. Hold on, should we just like scream every time we do it?
Number 10.
Our number 10 is Sleepy Hollow.
Yes.
So this come out in 1999. I can't believe this is over 20 years old.
Already?
Over 20. So it'll be 25 years old next year. It's 24 at the moment. That's insane. Well, actually, no, it is 25 years old. It came out in 1999. 25 years old.
That is
That
incredible.
is crazy. Sleepy Hollow was one of the very first movies I got on DVD.
I think for a lot of people, when you watch Sleepy Hollow for the first time, it does make an impact. I always got impacted by the bleeding tree. That was probably the imagery that I will always put together with Sleepy Hollow, and just the overall aesthetic of a Tim Burton movie. I think that's one of Tim Burton's finest.
For me, personally, I think it's his best movie after Batman Returns.
Claim. That's a claim.
It is, but I honestly believe that is the one. That is the one. Obviously starring Johnny Depp, because he's in everything that Tim Burton does. Christina Ricci, because she's also in everything that Tim Burton does. And Miranda Richardson, who plays the villain.
The villain. Like we've said before many a times, would you want to play a villain in a movie? I think they have the best of everything.
Yeah,
the outfits.
Exactly. Best outfits,
the roles.
best lines. You can be overly camp, especially in a horror film. I think it'd be great fun to play the Headless Horseman. Sleepy Hollow, if you don't know already and you've never watched it, it is a story about the Headless Horseman. So if you like fairy tales, etc., this is very violent as well. So it's very gory. It's got some really funny bits in it. Johnny Depp's very good as the detective that goes to the small town.
Yeah.
So if you're into that kind of thing, we highly recommend you watch Sleepy Hollow.
That's our top 10 choice.
And then at 9 we have Scream. But the original, the very first one, not the upteen million of other not remakes,
The one
but
from
sequels.
1996.
1996, starring Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox.
I forgot it was Courtney Cox.
Yeah,
I
this is back when
cannot
she was still doing.
believe
This is back when she was still in Friends, guys.
Wow.
Back when she was still in Friends. This is crazy. So 1996.
I do think
Again, over 20 years old.
I think out of all of the Scream movies, because there's many now, I do think that is the strongest one. I think.
And at number 8, a bit left field, but one of my all-time favorites, Edward Woodward, he's fantastic in everything, and obviously Christopher Lee.
I will always love Christopher Lee. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times, and he was always such a gentleman and just one of the coolest human beings. I think most people would say the same thing. I miss Christopher Lee. He was such a presence, but
Yeah.
one of his best and one of his
greats.
finest is The Wickerman, for sure.
One of the greats. Also, not to be fuddled or mixed up with the greatest comedy of 2006, starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was in the remake of The Wicker Man, which was so bad.
But good.
No, just so bad. I don't think anybody could watch it with a straight face. There's a scene where he runs around in bear slippers and punches women for 26 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's definitely a Nicolas Cage
And that's
moment.
actually where the bees, not the bees. That's where that comes from.
And if you didn't know, now you do.
But number 8, you have Your Appointment with the Wicker Man.
So that's the 1973 version, if any of you guys want to Google that and have a little look for yourself. Because if you haven't watched it...
Yeah, it's a classic. It's definitely a classic.
recommend.
Definitely a classic. Ah.
Number 7
Yeah, go on, you do this one.
is It Part 1 from 2017. I love the It franchise. I understand not a lot of people are a fan of clowns. Pennywise particularly has never been particularly scary to me. He is scary, but he's not. He's more of an art piece. I feel like he looks so aesthetically just grotesque and just this imagination from Stephen King. I love Stephen King books. Of course, I grew up with, it's got to be the Tim Curry version. Well, it was this 2-part series. It was 2 episodes. It wasn't a movie.
Yeah, the Tim Curry version scared the life. As a kid, it was
It's
petrifying.
terrifying. And still is terrifying.
I don't know. You watch it now, it's not as bad. But as a kid, watching an entity drag somebody into a drain
is
yeah
horrific. It
horrific. Was definitely frightening.
But I feel like the story is great. I feel like the ending, if anybody knows the ending, was always just bizarre and wacky and did not make any sense. You're drawn out this entire time to just have that ultimate ending. I won't spoil it in case you want to go and watch it for yourself. But the remake that came out not too many years ago now, Bill Skarsgård, I think, done a wonderful interpretation of his version of Pennywise. You can never compare to Tim Curry, but he did definitely a good job with that. And then obviously you've got part 1 and part 2 in homage to the part 1 and part 2 episodes that came out with Tim Curry.
Number 6, one of my all-time favorites, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the greatest comedy horrors out there. Even to this day, it's still
untouchable.
It's still, just even now watching it as an adult, I watched it many times as a kid, scaring the life out of myself. But even watching it now as an adult, it still makes me laugh. And I know the jokes are coming. I know the one-liners are coming, and I'm mouthing the lines, but they still make me laugh.
Definitely.
It's a film you can watch over and over again. It's a timeless classic.
But we're going for the 1984 version. Of course, not the remake. This is the OG Ultimate Ghostbusters movie.
Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Sigourney Weaver, and Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. We love Rick Moranis.
We love Rick Moranis. Also, the rumours going around that he's coming back for Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
If he does, that's going to break the internet, I think.
He said if he was going to come back to acting, he'd do it for Mel Brooks. So
Mel Brooks, please entice
Mel Brooks has
him.
got a lot of pull, and he's getting old now, so he's in his 90s. So if they can get it done, I still don't know about Josh Gad writing it, but if they can get it done, Spaceballs 2, let's go. But yeah, I don't know how you've never seen Ghostbusters. If you haven't seen, you just go watch Ghostbusters. What you're doing with your life. Number 5, we have Saw.
But the 2004, so the first
Saw
of the entire franchise.
Yeah, the rest is shit. You only need to watch Saw. Arguably the greatest twist in horror history.
The story is what keeps that from budging from our 5th spot in this list, because you watch it and you have no idea, I didn't anyway, of what happens by the end of the movie.
No.
So
And bearing in mind that nearly the entire movie is in one room.
Yes.
And then which makes the... I'm not going to spoil it. Shall I spoil it? People have seen it, must have watched it already.
It came out in 2004. I think a lot of people may have seen Saw.
Yeah. But it's the reveal at the end, when they could have just stuck their hand in the bathtub to get the key. My God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a thing.
Jaw dropped.
It was a thing.
My jaw was on the floor. I was just...
And it's what started it all, and because of the success of that film, they've then been able to make 20 sequels, which I feel after 3 have got gradually a lot worse. Like the Jigsaw movie was trash, and I feel like they've just gone down the very gory route instead of story, which is a shame, because if they kept to the sort of like twists and turns that 1, 2, and 3 give you, I think it would have probably been a very, very still a strong franchise. I know it still sells tickets, but I don't think it'll capture the trilogy again, unless they either reboot it, which Hollywood seems to love doing anyway, but we'll see.
The one thing I've got to mention, I always butcher his name, but if you know Cary Elwes, I don't know how to say his last name, but he's been in many other movies. I forgot he was in Saw. He's been in things like Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yep. He's been in so many movies.
Yeah, he's a great comedy actor. Yeah, great comedy actor. Princess Bride.
I never would have placed him in this type of horror movie until that point. And it's just, if you want to see him in just a different variation of the roles that he can do, Saw is definitely one of them, because I forgot he was in that, and he's one of the main characters. So if that entices you to check out Saw, definitely do it. I always found throughout the years they've always done, I believe in the States, they've done a blood drive with every movie release. So there's always something going towards, they've always just done something for charity and made it a really positive experience. And I think the fandom are so welcoming and positive. I really do love a bit of the Saw franchise.
At number 4, we have one of my greatest loves in the sci-fi horror genre.
Likewise.
Alien. The first one. Not Aliens or Alien 3 or the rest of the Aliens. But this is the original. This is the great.
This is the 1979 version.
Arguably some of the best jump scares in sci-fi horror as well, because if you've never seen it before and you don't know what's coming, my God, you crap your pants. You just crap your pants. It's a different feel to the second movie because it is more of an isolation horror, so running around in vents, etc. You don't know what's coming. Aliens being more of a action horror because everybody had guns and could fight, etc. Where they're running around with the tiny flamethrower that had no effect on the alien whatsoever. So you had that mortality thing going as well, and the fact that everybody dies, obviously except for Sigourney Weaver. But yeah,
don't touch Sigourney Weaver. I don't think they could. She's too damn powerful. Nothing can ever cross Sigourney Weaver's path.
I think it was a hairy minge. I think it was a hairy minge that saved her against the alien. I think that's it was her minge powers.
Oh my God!
Because hot topic or fun fact, they had to airbrush her minge out of the because she was wearing very low cut panties through most of the movie. They had to airbrush her minge out because they didn't think it would work well on screen. And then in the special edition, they ended up airbrushing it back in. So if you watch the special edition Alien, you can actually see Sigourney Weaver's minge hair coming out the top of the panties. Yeah,
Hollywood budget.
Hollywood budget.
It still doesn't detract though from how great Alien is. I mean, controversially, some people in the chat might say the second one is better than the first one, but we personally like the first one.
I love both, but just as like a sake of a horror sci-fi movie, I feel that Alien is a better description, where Alien 2 is more of an action horror.
And a shout out to Ripley being one of the strongest and most
badass women,
leading females in
exactly.
A movie. I love
See,
that.
this again, Hollywood. This is how you write women. This is how you have a strong female character that's not a girl boss and awful like they are in all modern films at the moment. And then at number 3, we have American Psycho. Christian Bale's greatest role, because he is terrifying.
He gives me chills with this one.
He is so unhinged in this. I've never, there's unhinged characters in horror, obviously, but he's up there.
He's a top 5 for us unhinged characters, for sure.
Yeah, it's a serial killer that lives in his own head.
There you go. So Psycho.
So you're not actually sure what's real, what's not real. It's a bit of a mind fuck, which is great because you don't really know where the film's going to go. Even near the end, you're like, is this going to go where I think it's going to go? And then, it just turns it all on its head. If you've not seen it, go watch it. It's got a fantastic soundtrack as well.
Yes.
And seeing Christian Bale grind in front of a mirror is very funny. Like all the sex scenes are hilarious, and he made it. I believe he did that on purpose to make them hilarious. So, yeah, but again, a very good movie.
Our second choice. Now this has got this doesn't compare to anything else.
Yeah.
I take back my words. This is
1993's Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus is a masterpiece.
Cinematic greatness. Beats everything on this list.
Hands down.
100%.
No question.
That is where a lot of people had a sexual awakening thanks to Sarah Jessica Parker's very pushed up boobs and the fact you like black cats. Hocus Pocus, great family movie. In all seriousness, it's still a great family movie. One you can watch with the kids. I'm guessing everybody's seen Hocus Pocus because you would have seen it growing up because it was the staple in every household around Halloween. You'd always sit and watch Hocus Pocus. So, but it's on the list.
I will have to just say
and if you don't agree with us, comment below. And number 1 on the list, The Thing. The 1982 iteration of it, the original, starring Kurt Russell and Wilford Brimley, my all-time favourite horror film. Being the fact it is a sci-fi genre, it's one of the very first horror films I watched as a kid as well, and it's always had a fondness because of how it completely revolutionised special effects, and the fact that everything in the movie is practical. Obviously, back in the day, there wasn't anything such as CGI.
I believe the special effects makeup was definitely a standalone thing in this. A standalone thing in this. It's still a great movie. Might be a little bit dated, but I feel like it stood the test of time. 10 out of 10. I definitely agree with you that this needs to be the top spot for best horror movies.
Right, so that is the end of the movie section.
Yay!
Excuse me. Now moving on to the TV section.
TV.
Carrie, just now, a second ago, the very first one,
Wow.
is getting another adaptation.
Okay.
Another adaptation.
Carrie.
Okay, well, the story is Carrie, the series, in the works at Amazon, so it's going to be an Amazon TV thing. It's going to be a series, not a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's being developed at MGM, so it's part of the arm of Amazon at MGM Studios. There's not much in the way of information yet. My take on it, there's already been 4. I don't think we need a 5th. I think 5 adaptations of one movie and book is insane. I don't think we need any more than that. And bearing in mind that only the first 2 adaptations actually made money, where the other 2 didn't at all. They were flops.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know there was 4 adaptations. So that's a new piece of knowledge to me as well.
So this will be 5th, which is insane. We don't need 5. I don't know. It's another Stephen King property. So at the moment, Stephen King stuff seems to be printing money. So obviously Hollywood are going to jump on that. The guy that's doing it, Flanagan, he's adapted several of King's work in the past, from The Life of Chuck, which won the Audience Award in the Toronto International Film Festival. He also wrote the screenplays for The Shining, The Secret Doctor Sleep, which I actually thought was pretty good, and Gerald's Game, and the latter. He also, he and Macy also had the rights to the Dark Tower novels.
Okay, so that might be
Dark
pretty,
Tower was awful. That was poop. It was really bad. It wasn't good. Even Idris Elba couldn't save that movie. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that. I don't know why they made Matthew McConaughey the villain. The whole thing made no sense. And what a waste, because the books are very good.
Probably worked well on paper, but not on screen.
But again, why? We don't need this. We don't need this.
So Carrie series, see what that's like.
For us sci-fi heads, something that I'm a little bit apprehensive about. I'm hoping it's going to be good, because it's going to be a shame if it's not. The Dune Prophecy series has been set. Well, they've confirmed that it is actually in Dennis's universe. So the original director of Dune's Part 1 and 2.
Oh, amazing!
So it's 10,000 years before any of that happens. It's going to have the same feel and tempo and vibe, so maybe it will work, fingers crossed. Early views of it, or people that have seen it already, especially the first and second episode, I think is what people have been screened already. The takeaways have been that it is very girl boss.
In a bad way?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the reviews have been very mixed. But it is only episode 1 and 2, so maybe it picks up. I hope so. Again, Frank Herbert stuff, or Frank Herbert's universe of Dune is one of my all-time favourites. It's like the same issue that people have with Rings of Power, the massive Tolkien fans. I love Lord of the Rings. I love the books. I'm not as big a fan as a lot of people are, though, but I think it's the same type of thing for me. If this is crap, it's going to hurt a bit, because the films are very good. And I'm hoping that they're not just going to piss all over what they've already done.
Dune has such a loyal and deep-rooted fan base.
But the series, which has long been in development in various forms, no longer has direct involvement with Villeneuve and his Dune writer. Oh, okay, because they split, yeah. But executive producer John Goldberg confirms to Empire is absolutely in the same universe as Villeneuve's films. We feel like we have to follow the essence of what Dennis has done. He set a tone, and within these films expect a whole mixture of genres to play, along with a political intrigue. There's a great deal of espionage and a great deal of action and adventure. There's also romance, which is and also exciting to me, is that we get to do a lot of the horror stuff. So again, prophecy takes place many thousands of years before the Dune films. We'd like to say this show is set in 10,000 years BC, meaning before Chalamet, Jokestar, Enemy Watson. Expected to look and feel connected to the big screen outings. Even the technology and trappings won't look wildly different. This is the other issue I've got as well. 10,000 years is a long time, and they have no technological advancements at all. It's a bit weird. But then you could say that about the Warhammer universe as well. But this, yeah. Either way, fingers crossed it's okay. During the machine wars, humans fought against computers and artificial intelligence. All kinds of things were rushing headlong to develop today, explains showrunner Alison Chaper. June imagines it would be if the worst case scenario happened and humans had to rebuild after almost coming to the brink of extinction. So they just explained it. So technology stagnated, computers are forbidden, and you get a kind of neo-feudal meets sci-fi futurism that offers incredible texture. So basically the Warhammer universe, which is what the Warhammer universe kind of draws a lot of inspiration from, is Frank Herbert stuff. So it kind of makes sense.
I need your opinion on what you're thinking about this and the show, and let's get into it, Dan. Let's get into it.
All right, I've said this many times before. I don't think we need in WandaVision. We definitely don't need Agatha all along. We haven't actually watched this week's one because of everything that's going on here, so we've missed out on the greatness of episode 7. Is it 7 or is it 6?
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I just know it needs to be over. The take on the internet for people that have reviewed it, I think they've just given up. Yeah, I think the only thing they'd probably take out of the Agatha show is Wiccan, probably, because he's a carrot. He's obviously Wanda's son. So maybe they'll take the two boys out of the show and then they'll appear in the Vision show. I've got no idea. One exciting bit of news about the show itself: Ultron is coming back as the villain. I don't know if it's going to be James Spader again. There's no confirmation there, but Ultron's going to be the villain. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. Again, we don't know if it's James Spader. We just know that he's coming back as the villain. I think there was a big mistake killing him off in Age of Ultron in the Avengers movies. The Marvel universe, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has a massive problem with killing off its villains, which I don't think it needs to every time. I think you should go, we'll get you next time, Avengers, and they escape, etc. But they seem to kill off all their villains, and they're running out of villains. And then they're having to dig deep. And then they made Robert Downey Jr. Doom. So this is happening this is shooting next year. So we're looking at a 2026 Disney Plus streaming jobby.
Let's hope Vision is a little bit better, if not a lot more better than.
There's no confirmation that Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. So there's no Elizabeth Olsen as far as we know. It is literally just going to be a show focused on Vision, finding his humanity so he can rejoin the Avengers for Doomsday, or whatever they're calling the next one.
Doomsday. Yeah, Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah. And obviously he plays a very important part in Secret Wars. So we kind of need Vision back because he's a catalyst for Secret Wars. Yeah.
We need Vision. We
need Vision back. And lastly, on the TV stuff, something that is very exciting to Cog, because you grew up with this stuff.
I did grow up with. Wop, wop. Noot, noot. So Aardman and Mattel are going to co-develop a new Pingu show, or is it going to be a carry-on from the
No,
Pingu
it's
show?
a new Pingu, so it's going to be a brand new property.
Wow.
Yeah, using the Aardman animation. So it's going to look very cool. I don't know if it's going to be a short-lived show or so. There's not really much information yet. It just come up on my feed today, so I thought we'd talk about it, because a lot of people grew up with Pingu. And the fact it's British.
It is British. It says the television series will be co-developed by Sarah Cox and Alan Thorpe for Aardman, and Sydney Clifton, Rob David and Melanie Shannon for Mattel Television Studios. First created in the 1980s. No. Oh my God. Pingu became a global sensation for his playful humour, sass, and his unique penguinese language that is universally
Penguinese.
understood. That's the newt newt that I was on about earlier. Newt newt. Over recent years, Pingu has emerged as a fan favourite on social media, where his mischievous antics and iconic newt newt, there we go, have sparked viral content and global engagement. Pingu has captured the hearts of both longtime fans and new audiences worldwide, solidifying his place in pop culture. Mattel acquired Pingu through its purchase of Hit Entertainment in 2011, adding this beloved character to Mattel's catalogue of iconic brands.
Something a bit spicy.
Oh, why so spicy?
Yeah, this is a variety. This is Variety saying this, so we don't know how true it is. But it's something that's getting a lot of attention online, is that due to a study, I don't know what study, but supposedly teens want less sex in their TV and movies.
Okay.
So as a non-teen, all I can say is fuck off. I like sex in films and movies. Just putting it out there.
Maybe they're coming from the perspective of that some sex scenes don't add to a story or add to the plot or add to anything.
Yeah, but boobs.
I mean, boobs are magic.
Yeah.
We need boobs because they make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Boob positivity.
Yeah.
Yet
And floppy wiener.
I'm trying to see both perspectives. Sex scenes can be very intense, and obviously if you're younger, they might be a little bit...
Well, then don't watch it. It means it's too old for you if you get it. Yeah, don't watch it. It's for adults, kids.
Yeah, yeah, kids.
Yeah, go and watch Chatterbait on your mum's TV upstairs, and then have the volume down, like we used to when we were kids. Well, it wasn't called Chatterbait back then. I can't even remember what it was called.
It's called something.
It was called something.
I think we know what you're on about.
But yeah, that's what we did when we were kids. You losers.
But yeah, just for a moment, briefly trying to see both ends of the spectrum of why they might be saying that there's a study that they're coming out saying they don't want to have intimate
But they've
scenes.
come out saying that teams want movies and shows to stay in the friend zone.
Okay.
Which doesn't exist. The friend zone is just a construct that somebody's made up to...
Get out of something.
Well, not just that, to also... Yeah, no, I'm not going to go into that. At a time when films like Baby Girl, Poor Things, Fair Play, and a series such as Disclaimer and Tell Me Lies are more explicitly sexual, the younger audiences, well, they shouldn't be watching it then. If they can't handle sex, go back to church, you Mormon. Fuck's sake. Well, they like that. I reckon they went to a Mormon commune or they went to an Amish community and said, "You want sex in your films?" Because I can't imagine any teenager saying, "I don't want sex in my television and TV."
But we could be talking to that minority.
Babe, thank you, Calandrel. Babe Station. That was the one. Babe Station.
It's a babe station.
That's the one I keep finding new study. The university. Oh, okay. So right, it's starting to
Come
all make
together.
sense. University of California. What a fucking surprise! Los Angeles Center for Scholars and Storytellers, entitled "Teens and Screens." This sounds like it's made up. The report surveyed roughly 1,500 respondents aged. See, look, 10 to 24.
Come on,
Come on, man.
How? There is no way between the ages.
Honestly, every time they bring out I can't believe they write this shit. I thought I was surprised, or I can't believe they write it. Then the week later they do something else, and then they bring out something else. There are people that are writing this shit. Researchers found that 63.5% of adolescents said they preferred the big and small screen stories focused on friendships,
while 62.4% said sexual content isn't needed as a plot device. So like I was trying to say earlier, I thought they might be saying it doesn't add to...
But they're Californian, so their opinion,
I
opinion
know.
doesn't matter.
I know.
And 47.5% said they didn't seek out shows or movies where sex was a major plot point. The survey did not poll response between the ages of 10 and 13 about... Well, exactly. Why would you be asking a 10 or a 13-year-old about sex, you perverts? Fuck's sake. Again, this is This is the future. Our findings seem really solidify a trend we found emerging in our data last year that young people are tired of seeing the same dated and unrelatable romantic tropes on screen. All right, okay, fair. Alicia Hines, Director of Research Content, said teens and young adults wanted to see stories of a more authentically reflect the full spectrum of nuanced relationships.
So basically woke. I feel like this is going in the woke direction. They want
so
to
they
show...
want to see like a romance story
So
of a girl that identifies as a cat and a guy that identifies as a tree or something.
So they're not saying that they don't want intimate scenes. They're basically saying they want intimate scenes with the woke culture. That's what I'm finding.
Oh, God, it's fucking exhausting.
Or they're just... they want to approach it in a different way. But instead of 36.2% of adolescents said enjoyed content that took place in fantasy worlds over stories about the rich and famous, 7.2% real life issues, 13.9% personal issues, all numbers that I feel like they're just making up at this point. 24.2% of the other genres, 3.3%. And when it came to their favourite types of entertainment, 39.2% of teens opted for playing video games compared to 33.3% who choose to watching TV or movies and 27.5% who pick scrolling on social media platforms.
So they've gone to a university campus, or multitude of university campuses in California, which is known for being overly woke.
California.
And they've asked these questions, probably to people that identify as non-binary or they, thems or whatever. And they're not interested in sex anyway. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Stupid article, stupid conclusion. Meh. Erotic movies were once popular genre with movies like Indecent Proposal, Basic Instinct, topic box office charts. Yeah, because they're hot. But these movies declined as television programs like Game of Thrones and The Affair became more permissive. Hollywood harvested less money and explicit content. There seems to be shifting. People love seeing Floppy Wiener on Game of Thrones. I don't give a shit who you are. Wiener, Floppy Wiener, Floppy Wiener. It seems to be shifting in recent months. The onslaught of more sexually provocative content hitting screens. It looks like these movies and shows will need to attract older audiences. At least the study's finding out that people believe.
But they should.
They should be attracting older audiences. Why would a 10 or 13-year-old want to watch sexy stuff? Well, I mean, I was watching Babe Station around there, but that's not the point. You shouldn't be asking kids about sex. That's fucking wrong, man.
Just over 16, just over a age.
The age of consent. So you go 18 plus.
Yes.
18 plus. You should not be asking kids these Jesus Christ. And people don't see a problem with this. Like, this is it.
No common sense.
I don't see myself as a conservative, but honestly, the media is driving me to become one just because of the fucking stupidity that's coming out online. Like, that article is actually up for people to read. It's out there on the internet. Brett Lang, you're a fucking perv, man. Sort your life out. Twat.
Age appropriate for what you're watching is all you need to do.
Right, so actually some wholesome stuff now because we got away from the idiocracy of variety. There's a documentary coming out of the somebody that was living with a degenerative. Sorry, I had to say that. That's very difficult for me to say. Muscular disease, and is vividly reimagined with his online friends' contacts after his. So this is basically his life within playing World of Warcraft, which is a massive multiplayer online game. For those that don't know, it seems very wholesome. So he was wheelchair bound, so his entire social life was built around World of Warcraft, and this is his story. What? And you can now watch it on Netflix. It was directed by Anna Kendrick, which is a bit rando. Well, this is called The Remarkable Life of Iblin, and it's now on Netflix. So it seems pretty... if you want some wholesome content to watch, because it is a bit dark out there at the moment, I'm guessing the ending's going to be quite sad, because unfortunately he ends up passing away. But I think the journey of him playing WoW and building friendships through virtual means, it kind of reinforces what we do for a living as well, because we make friendships and we make strong connections and we make strong relationships through people online. Some people that I've known for well over a decade that I've never actually met in real life. And I think it's nice that there is some wholesome content out there that proves that online relationships work, being it romantic or platonic, etc. So yeah, I'm fully behind this kind of content. This is cool.
I love seeing the gaming sphere in such a positive light and showing how wonderful the communities can be and the actual love and community that comes from that scene. So it's nice to see something reflect gaming in a good manner instead of always negative.
So again, that is the end of the TV section. Thanks very much for joining us on that TV section. Now moving on to the gaming section. A bit sparse this week, guys, because it's all very negative, and we've talked about it before. Usual stuff. Ubisoft is on fire. Sony keep putting their foots in their mouths. 2 studios have shuttered. I think the most interesting news, on this ilk that we spoke about before, is that Concord is receiving Steam updates. And not small updates, but big updates. So I don't think Sony's done with Concord yet. I think they're going to bring it back as a free-to-play model.
So Concord's going to potentially make a return?
I think this is marrying up it's just could be completely coincidental, but Concord has an episode on the show Secret Level, which we talked about last week. I didn't know there was a Concord episode, but it goes to show you how big Sony thought this game was going to be. So this could coincide with the release of the Secret Level episode, that they then re-release Concord, and then maybe come off the back of that momentum that the show gives the game again, and then they release it as it should have been released. Hey, buddy, thank you very much for that super chat. Let's go. Please don't get washed away. We're trying, mate. We're trying. We've lost, for those that are interested, because you watch us every week, we've had major flooding here, and we've lost our kitchen and living room, and our front door is near enough obliterated, and our roof is not looking great either, because we have a flat roof that overlooks that's above our kitchen and living room, and we're now suffering with high winds and rain at the moment, but Starlink's staying on, which is very impressive.
At least we get to do the weekly show.
But
we're trying our best, Bertie. We're trying our best.
Yeah, the wind is when it hits the roof now, it vibrates. So we think we might be losing that entire building, but we don't know yet. We need to get a surveyor here, but it all costs money. So we got to Anyway, but we're trying to stay dry, mate. We're currently dry. We've been able to have a shower. The power's back on, so we've been able to do the weekly show. But yeah, we've had to completely cut off that part of the flat, which is a shame. But we're trying to.
We'll keep you updated on the socials.
As soon as Monday rolls around, we'll get somebody in to have a look and see what the damage is. Because it's still raining at the moment. It's not stopped.
So if you like your cozy autumny weather, it's ideal at the moment. Not quite as extreme as this, I'd hope not.
Yeah.
But,
the weather sucks here at the moment. But thank you very much for that super chat. That's our very first weekly show super chat. It's kind of cool.
Let's get a little applause for our first super chat.
Yeah, we can do that. So, for those that do join in, if you want us to read out anything you're saying, if you want your comments to come up in lights, just don't know. You can anything from £1 and upwards. And you get your message put up in lights, and then we read it out.
We discuss it live,
which is kind of cool. So, moving on to the gaming section. Sorry, it's been a day. We haven't slept yet. We've been awake something like 32 hours.
I just realised something as well. I think I got lipstick in my teeth. So
it's all right. We've been awake 36 hours. We're fine.
It's all right. So someone's probably gone, you got lipstick on your teeth, Cock. Why didn't you tell me, guys?
Some other wholesome stuff is too as well. Final Fantasy Online, there was a blind woman who plays games who current communities dedicate themselves to helping us through the game. Oh, that's really cool.
That's amazing.
That's really cool. See, games are wholesome, guys. It's not all like woke, terrible stuff where they're just censoring everything and making everybody look like they've got Down syndrome. Call of Duty.
Oh.
Your first non-binary character. Looks like they got the Downs, but there we go. Not a good look, man.
Not saying nothing.
Not a good look, but they look awful. I can't imagine anybody ever playing that character because you look like you've got Down syndrome. Yeah. And putting a gun in somebody that's got Down syndrome's hands. I mean, they might, actually shoot somebody or eat the bullets or crash a plane. I don't even know what they're doing in the game. I'm not really interested. Just the fact it's come up and it was funny. The art is so bad and the character design is so bad that it looks awful. It looks awful. But again, in positive news, Capcom wants to bring back more classic fighting games. I'm 100% behind this.
Yes.
I'm 100% behind this. I've been waiting for them to bring back Rival Schools since the first one came out. That is an untouched genre. There was untouched IP that they've never brought back, and I think they should because it's a great game. Rival Schools, Star Gladiator, P&P, Bloody Roar, all those cool games that have never been brought back. Obviously, Bloody Roar is not Capcom, but they're talking about bringing them back, which would be great. I'd love to see a modern-day Rival Schools or a modern-day Star Gladiator.
I would be so thrilled to have that back.
Beefcake guys, sexy girls, beating the crap out of each other, good villains, really good story. Rival Schools is actually an anime as well, so if you're interested in seeing a bit of history about it, watch the anime, because it's very, very good. So was Star Gladiator, although it's only 5 episodes. It got cancelled because the game didn't do that great. But that was due to poor marketing. The game itself is a very, very good beat-em-up. And 10 out of 10 would recommend. Star Gladiator.
Gaming is going a little bit down the pan when they're bringing back all these old properties or just classic, well-made games. You cannot beat a good fighting game. I don't think you can. I love them in the arcade. I love them when we could bring them home. I'm very excited for this. It would be nice to have the return and the popularity of fighting games come back.
So they're talking about Rival Schools, Tech Romancer, again, another very good one. Star Gladiator, as I said, and Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bilstein, which is another Star Gladiator.
Ooh. So
Dr. Bilstein was the villain in Star Gladiator. I didn't even know that was actually out. I think there might have been an only Japan release. You also got Street Fighter. They want to bring back Street Fighter vs. Tekken, and also add in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
They're my favourites. I love Street Fighter.
Street Fighter and Tekken was very good. I enjoyed that. Bring back Final Fight, you can. Yeah, and Final Fight. That would be great. Haggard and the Gang. Hoodia! That'd be kind of cool. I'd love to see a remake of Final Fight. I'd love to see, like they did with Streets of Rage 4. I'd love to see them do a remake. Still with the same pixel graphics, but just updated. But I would love to see it. I'd love to see it. So keep an eye out for that. Once we find out more information, as always, guys, we will let you know. But we are very excited to see Capcom bring back some classic titles. Very excited. Rival Skier! And this is another one for Cog, because she loves a bit of SpongeBob.
Who lives in a pineapple under... No, I won't go there.
Go on then, it's a bit of you, this.
I'm super excited. Last weekly show, if you guys want to go and watch that, we were talking about Magic the Gathering having a very cool collaboration with Marvel. And we discussed, if there was any other properties that they could potentially collaborate with, who would they be? And I, by chance, mentioned SpongeBob. And look what has happened, guys. Magic the Gathering officially unveils that a new SpongeBob SquarePants themed Secret Lair set is set to release sometime next year. So SpongeBob and Magic the Gathering are collaborating. What are the odds of that happening, Dan?
I don't know what universe we're living in now.
What is happening? What is happening?
I don't think we're on the darkest timeline. I think we're on the SpongeBob timeline.
The post did not reveal any set to be featured in the Secret Lair, though fans have speculated that other characters like Squidward and Sandy may appear. So you're going to have SpongeBob, Squidward and Sandy at the very least. If they can mention the amount of characters that are in SpongeBob SquarePants' universe, that would be cool. If we could have Larry, maybe Mr. Krabs,
it'd be
Pearl.
A cool pack to collect if you're a fan. Even if you're not into Magic the Gathering.
Most definitely.
It'd be very cool to collect if you're a SpongeBob fan.
The merchandise for SpongeBob SquarePants is just so vast. There's everything you can imagine, from Monopoly sets to cups to have Magic the Gathering collaborate. I think this is just a bit of fun, and I think it's going to be really cool to anybody, like you said, who collects SpongeBob SquarePants merchandise. It's just going to be a nice little added addition. And imagine playing on the field with your Magic the Gathering cards and then you bring out the SpongeBob ones. It's going to make people smile. I think it's some light-hearted positivity. It's just going to be fun to add to the game. This really does open, though, the perspective of what other characters and collaborations are going to have. We might get the Hello Kitty one we also mentioned. You never know. It could be Hello Kitty in Magic the Gathering.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep, like, every time there's a new pack out, we'll mention it in the show so you guys can keep up with it.
But it's set to come out in 2025 at some point, including collaborations with... There's also a sneaky one that might happen is Final Fantasy.
Oh.
So SpongeBob, Marvel and Final Fantasy have been the ones discussed. We know that Marvel's happening. We know SpongeBob's happening. So we'll keep you up to date if the Final Fantasy one goes ahead as well. Because Final Fantasy and Magic, the Gathering, having a collaboration, those cards are going to be some of the most beautiful cards or decks I've ever seen.
Maybe we're not on a live timeline at all, but a spectrum instead. Ooh, a spectrum of lights.
It's deep.
Another shout out was another title that's coming out. It's all to do with mechas, and we'd like a bit of mechas in here. We'd like a bit because you know what Voltron is.
He's a mecha? I nailed it.
So this teases a pilot mode where you can leave the cockpit and run around like reverse Titanfall. So it looks interesting. We can't play trailers anymore because for some reason we keep getting demonetized every time we play a trailer. But it looks interesting. Very Gundam-esque, obviously being mecha, but you can leave your mecha any time and do ground combat and fight each other as the pilots. I just thought it was a nice nod.
That sounds cool.
But I would show you the trailer, but we can't. Quark uses a last amenity as jumping off point to reveal that CSUN's idea for a pilot combat mode, which he characterizes as long-term plan for the game after its 1.0 launch next year. Initially, we might start experimenting with the hangar itself, allowing players to have their pilots pick up guns and practice at a shooting range. So basically giving more depth to the game so you can develop your pilot as well as your mecha. I've always thought mech games live and die by their sense of scale, really selling the idea that dwarf the surroundings and carry truly awesome firepower. Letting the step outside the mech explore the human scale, either in non-combat hub missions or an incredibly effective way of doing that, but to implement a separate, very different form of moving and interacting with the world, while also ensuring the game's assets stand up to both perspectives. Being able to eject mid-combat induces further wrinkle of balancing for such ability. So that'd be really cool if like your mech gets destroyed or you get to a point of the map where you can't travel anymore, so you got to leave your mech to fight the baddies. That'd be kind of cool.
I love the whole concept that you get to fight in the big mecha outfits. It's sort of given me a little bit of Space Marine in a way, because you have the big armor in Space Marine. This is sort of a different alternative to that. You can go around stomping around in your big mecha and shoot some stuff.
You tend to see hangar exploration more than the pilot combat. The standard goal for latter remains the Titanfall games, which the human scale FPS is first, the mech shooters second. Mech breakers coming from the opposite direction on a larger scale than Titanfall. I'd be eager to see how the pilot combat is implemented and balanced. In my mind immediately goes something like Baby Diva in Overwatch. Yeah, that'd be cool. The ability to eject from your mech, survive destruction. However, our amazing CSUN approaches this feature. It sounds like they'll be waiting some time to find out how it pans out. So the negativity coming off this game at the moment is the fact that the lady characters are very sexy. Nothing wrong with that at all. But as you can probably see, they've got serious booties on them. So it looks like First Ascendant in mechs.
I'm down. I'm sold.
We all like booties. There's lots of jiggle physics, but it is an Asian game. I don't have a problem with it. I think full steam ahead with this. I'd love to play this. I'll definitely give this a go. Magic the Gathering should do a collaboration with Dove Soap. They should.
Could you imagine?
They should. Something really exciting for Overwatch 2 fans.
Ooh.
They are bringing back 6v6. It's official. And they're going to be testing it during Season 14.
Amazing.
So that means 2 tanks are back.
Whoa. I'm super excited for this. We love playing some Overwatch. If you get to catch our streams, guys, we are big avid players of the Overwatch 2 game. So when Season 14 arrives in December for Overwatch 2, Blizzard will bring back 6v6 matches with 2 different tests. The original game featured those team sizes, but the sequel controversially replaced that setup with 5v5 competitions. Overwatch 2 director Aaron Keller detailed the upcoming 6v6 experiments on the game's website. The first test should, and during the first week of Season 14, currently scheduled to launch December 10th, so December time, guys, and will incorporate team compositions of at least 1 of each role and no more than 3. Then in the middle of Season 14 Overwatch 2, we'll try out the classic 2-2-2 composition with a few changes. So Keller explained that these 2 Season 14 tests plus more on the way will not only judge our players' appetite for large team sizes, but for us to explore different ways that we might implement a change without running into the same problems we had previously. There seems to be a lot for consideration for Overwatch 2 in regard to 6v6. For instance, Keller stated that previously he couldn't foresee 5v5 and 6v6 both working together in the sequel, but now he's open to the idea. So people, I think, are very... I mean, to have more people on the team is always better than less. I think get as big as you can.
Turn into mayhem, yeah. I'm up for it.
I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but potentially raids. Imagine like if you get like a 16-man group of like Overwatch characters.
Well, they did try it. They did do the PvE modes where you can have up to 8 players, but they didn't really fly. But
no,
doesn't mean they can't do it again.
I love that the more that we can get on a team, the better. I feel like it's a lot more fun and everybody gets to show their role the best that they can. But like you said, it's going to be 2 tanks, or you could have the option of 2 tanks. It's going to be so much cooler. But bringing back 6v6 for Overwatch 2 was initially approached in July. Meanwhile, earlier this month, Overwatch 2 saw the start of Season 13 Spellbinder and big changes to Sombra. The hero shooter also got a new Halloween mode called Junkerstein's Laboratory that's available through November 4th. At the moment, if you're really into your Halloween, touching on Halloween today, definitely check out the skins. The Spellbinder stuff is very cute if you like your witches and more of that spooky element. Get them while they're there. I think the Halloween stuff is pretty dang cool. A recent report pointed out that Overwatch mobile project being in development, or at least it was one of for the time, but for more, check out GameSpot Overwatch 2 review. Well, if they're going to have a mobile project, that's obviously trying to be ahead with Fortnite, because Fortnite has their mobile app. Could you see Overwatch being on the mobile, Dan?
Yeah, I can't see why not. I wouldn't play on mobile.
It'd probably be terrible.
Yeah, it would probably be shit, but yeah, cool. Well, at least they're listening to the fan base. They seem to be very interactive on the Reddit as well, which is great because they've been very typical Blizzard studio before, where they just didn't interact with the fan base, didn't listen to the fan base, did their own thing, make woke characters. Then the player base dropped off the face of the planet. People are gradually coming back again. They've noticed like a massive uptick in player base. So yeah, if they get the battle pass sorted and actually give us skins that we want, I think they could actually be on a winner here. I think it could turn into something kind of cool. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
So looking forward to that in December for Overwatch 2.
But guys, as we said before, we do apologise that it seems a little bit rushed today. We are exhausted. We just wanted to make sure that we did a weekly show because we don't know when we're going to be back because my PC is going to be down for a while. Those that have been watching week by week, we're going to try and get something up. We don't know how we're going to do it yet. But due to Intel and CPU issues, I don't know how long I'm going to be offline for. But again, we wanted to get something up so you guys can enjoy the weekly show. And we do appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us. Everything we talked about today, make sure you comment and like below and share the video. Sharing the video massively helps us out. Commenting on the bottom of the video also massively helps us out, pushes us towards that magical YouTube algorithm so we get more viewership and start growing the community on YouTube. If you're not already as well, make sure you're following us on Beam and on Kick.
We're Optimus Dan everywhere, so if you wanted to search, just / Optimus Dan.
Exactly. We'll be live tomorrow, but it could be the last stream from me for a while. Obviously, Kit and Cog will still be streaming, but it could be my last stream for a while, so fingers crossed. It won't be too long, fingers crossed.
Hope and get back as soon as possible.
But thanks very much for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you soon. Everyone,
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween. I'm going to go die in a corner. Bye, guys.